Today we play golf.
Let me show you how we do it in the pros.
Welcome to Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
I never miss with the 7-iron.
A conversation with some of the most interesting innovators and entrepreneurs behind the biggest names in golf.
My friends with the golf clubs. I lived on the golf course. I lived on the driving range.
From pro talk.
You should learn something from each and every single round you play in.
To fun from on and off the green.
Why would you play golf if you don't play it for money?
Just let me put the ball in the hole.
This is Behind the Golf Brand Podcast with Paul Liberatore. Behind the Golf Brand Podcast is sponsored by On Point, the revolutionary three-dimensional domed golf ball marker. On Point provides alignment recognition as small as a degree of inaccuracy from the planned course of the putt face angle. Endorsed by Jim Furyk, U.S. Open champion and 17-time PGA Tour winner. On Point alignment technology has been proven to increase putting performance and help lower your score. Visit onpointgolf.us and be sure to use code GA10 for a 10% discount. On Point, make more putts.
What's up, guys? Paul from Golfers Authority. I, once again, do not know what podcast episode this is because I never keep track. However, I got a really cool guest. I have my friend Chris from Wilson Golf. Small, crazy story, but like Chris is actually friends with one of my friends in real life, and he lives in Chicago. My friend lives here. But without further ado, this is Chris from Wilson Golf. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Paul. It's my pleasure. And yeah, small world.
I know, it's so weird. So here's a story, you guys. So I have a friend I coach Little League with, and he's a golfer. He golfs more than I do. He probably golfs like 5 times a week. And so he's like, oh yeah, my best friend from when I was a kid works for Wilson Golf. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, he lives in Chicago, but he's from Ohio. That's where this guy's from. That's where both these guys are from. And so I was like, oh, you should put him in contact with him. That was probably what, 9 months ago? It's been a while.
Yes, January, February, by a PGA show.
Yeah, so right around PGA show. And so we were trying to get connected at that time because, it was like January. And so Chris and I have been just kind of got to know each other. I've been emailing back and forth. And it's just such a small world, right? You never really know, kind of who knows who in a weird way.
That's true.
So how long have you been with Wilson?
A little over 20 years now.
Holy crap.
It's a long time.
Was that your first job out of college?
I had one other job for another golf company for a couple of years right out of college, and then went to work for Wilson back in 2000, June of 2000. Crazy.
Okay. That's that's when I graduated college.
It's crazy. I know.
That was literally. So you must have gone to Ohio State then, right?
I did not. Kent State.
You did because Ron did. And that's why.
Yeah, Ron did. Yeah. So no, I'm still an Ohio boy, but no, went to Kent.
Oh, that's a good school too.
Yeah.
Ohio has a lot of good schools, man. I don't know.
It's amazing out here how many, speaking of the south side of Chicago earlier, how many people go to Bowling Green, how many people went to Miami, Ohio. It's amazing how many people, went to Chicago, came back.
Yeah. I mean, in case you guys didn't know, I went to Purdue for undergrad. I know I was telling Chris about that. And so it's I'm from Arizona. So there wasn't that many people. I don't think there's anybody. Well, there's one person actually that I knew at Purdue in 4 years. I was from Arizona, and he was on the football team. And we met, and he was from Tucson. I was like, oh my God, you're from Arizona? Because no one goes out to the Midwest from Arizona. I remember walking into class my first Christmas, right after Christmas, right? I went back to Purdue, and it was like -40 or 60 or something crazy. And I remember shuffling on the ice and thinking, what the hell am I doing? I could go to ASU, right? And that was my,
Yeah, no, I'm questioning your decision as well, but hey, that's good. Purdue's a good school, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a good school. So then, what was the golf company you worked with before you got to Wilson for that first?
I was actually working for Adams Golf. So yeah, back then it was just this little company called Tight Lies, and after school went down and worked for them out of Dallas. So went from Ohio to Dallas, and then from Dallas moved to Colorado to be an outside territory manager for Wilson. That was my first job. So
holy smokes.
Did that for 3 years or so. Then they moved me to Florida. Was in outside sales in the Tampa area for about 3 years, and then moved up to Chicago to take over national accounts, and then national sales director. So it's been a fun ride.
That's cool.
So I moved all over the place. I've seen a little bit of everything.
And you worked your way up too, right?
So it's been fun.
So then so right now you're the national sales director for...
Yeah, so I run sales for North America, both U.S. and Canada. Yeah, correct.
So then you then manage all the guys too, or I guess
you
guys are underneath you, but I mean,
yeah. So we're broken into two separate entities. You know, we have from my aspect, I manage all the territory managers and what we call our specialty business.
Yeah.
That's all your specialty retailers, green grass facilities, golf courses, other small retailers. We have a separate division that manages your sporting good chains and your big box retailers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this year, I mean, obviously with COVID, it's been a crazy year, right? For everybody. I know a lot of brands have had like issues trying to like just keep inventory in, right? Because of like supply chain, really. You know, like it's a great year for golf, but it's like there's literally everyone's like, oh yeah, we're killing it on sales, but it's like, but now we can't get our stuff in, and we're like purposely shutting parts of our website down so we can't do sales online because we got to try to, you know, continue to support our big box retailers, you know. And I'm like, holy crap! Like, I mean, did you guys see that problem too with your supply chain? You had to have, right? I mean,
yeah, it's been unprecedented, as you know, you and I were talking about. I mean, who could have thought we were in the position we would be at? You know, if I look at it from in hindsight, you go back to March, April, even into May, and you're in crisis mode about what you're going to do, what the future looks like, what the future holds, and you know, with everything shut down. And part of that was, you know, you get a master's degree in supply chain management when the world shuts down for 90 days, 60, 90 days, and to restart that engine. And you know, when you're looking at how you manage your business and when it picked up, who would have expected? Not
the
only
surge, right?
But the sustained surge. I mean, it literally is still going to this day. I mean, it.
Oh yeah, it's not stopping.
No, I was at a course yesterday and it was packed here in Chicago. Absolutely packed.
Really?
It was 48, 49, overcast, and they had a full tee sheet yesterday. And it's almost November. Crazy.
See, and like I had a really good conversation with Golf Now, right?
Okay.
And Golf Channel. And so recently, and they're saying, and my friend posed a really good question to me, and I was like, holy crap, I didn't think about this. He said, you know, the sort of the unprecedented for everybody, right? The amount of people playing golf. And he's like, what do you think is going to happen? Because he's not here, right? And so he's like, in Arizona, what do you think is going to happen this fall and this winter with golf? Because, you know, right in the next month, rates go up, right? Like because of reseeding and all the nice courses get ready to go.
For sure.
But he's like, look, no one's traveling, right? So like, you're not going to get the Canadians because they can't leave. Correct. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't think about this. And he's like, no one's really like traveling out of state. So it's like, you know, I wonder what's going to happen with winter golf for like the Sun Belt and, you know, the Southwest. And I'm like, that's a really good, like, that's a real problem, right? Because that's, especially for somebody like Golf Now or something like that, because they're selling
for sure.
bookings. But it's like, I never thought about that far. I'm like, oh, it's going to keep on going forever. But is it going to go on forever? You know, I mean, the locals will play. I mean, that's not going to stop. But I mean, once things shut down where you're at because of winter, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a good thing. You know, maybe it gives us time for the manufacturers to catch up, you know, and try to get that inventory in. And like, I just don't know. It's just crazy.
The question is, what is people's ability? What is their radius? You know, they talked about even this summer, the lack of individuals traveling, golfers that are traveling via air, but then you had regional. So if you're going to go up to Kohler for, let's say we're in Chicago, driving up to Kohler is no big deal. Driving up to Sand Valley, no issue. So regionally, you had people that were willing to drive. The question is, how far is the reach of Arizona, Florida going to be? And, you know, me and a bunch of my buddies going to jump in a car and drive to Florida.
No way.
I don't know. I doubt that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's their reach going to be? And you bring up a good point. I mean, whether it's Arizona or Florida, just the influx of particularly Canadians, Europeans.
I never thought about the Canadian because that's a huge market, right? I mean,
huge, yeah,
massive market, and it's like they're not leaving; they can't leave because they can't get back in. So it's like, you know, I don't know. I think unless things ease up, it's going to be, I don't know, it might be bad actually. I mean, it's like because
it's going to be interesting.
You know, I don't know how it's going to reflect sales of product because people are always buying stuff. You know what I mean? But if they're not playing, maybe they're not going to be buying. So, or they're not going to care. I don't really know. It's going to be weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you described right there. This year has been anything but normal. You know, it's but yeah, the equipment sales have been solid. You know, you look at. I mean, I've done. You know, we had a big report, and I'm looking at the past 20 weeks of sales. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, but it's through the roof, right?
Absurd. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you would never expect. I had this conversation with another brand yesterday. I was like, you know what? It's interesting. Is like I think one of the reasons why golf is still doing so well, right, is like no one cares about sports right now. That's what I think. No one's watching baseball. No one's watching football. No one's watching basketball. All the ratings are completely down, right? It's like, and you thought, historically, you would say like, okay, when football starts, it was a drop for golf, right? Because everyone's watching football on the weekends and whatever it is. And you're not really seeing that. Like, I'm not watching any football. I could care less. Like, I mean, I have fantasy football and I have all that stuff, but it's just like, but I'm not sitting there watching the game because the games are boring. It's like no fans. It's like, I don't know. And like they're really saying like with NBA, that's down right now. Like no one was watching the playoffs. I just realized that there's baseball still going on right now. I was watching it last night with my wife. But like, I think the interest in golf is still going to be there, which is great for everybody. But then still the supply chain, it's like, I mean, everyone has this problem. Here's the other thing I learned too. And I don't know if this happened with you guys, but like a lot of people got furloughed. I mean, a lot of people at a lot of brands. And now it's like, these people are not coming back. Like and so it's like, is that going to affect the back end of it? I don't know. So I'm not trying to get so like supply chainy, but I just find it's interesting, right? Because I mean, like, whether you're big or you're a small brand, everyone has the same problem.
Oh, for sure. I mean, again, when you're looking at, a week over week lift of over 50% annually for the past 20 weeks, you're just trying to keep up with that. You can't. No brand's built that way. And, it's interesting, the influx between particularly, and I think it bodes well for the game, is not only for your serious competitive golfer and the people that are your early adopters, but it's also the influx of new golfers. I mean, I look at from our beginner set sales and the demand for that. There's always this latent demand from that individual that has been wanting to get into golf, that individual that's been going to a Top Golf and they want to see what it's like on course. And so it's exciting to see that. And I agree. I look at everyone here in the Midwest. They just want to be outside. They're tired of being inside. They know that winter's coming. So you're right. From ratings and TV, I would say it's evident when I walk around my neighborhood. I see more people outside just because they want to be outside than inside watching TV. But again, these are all positive things for golf in the industry. I can't imagine any reason whatsoever the demand for golf slows down or stops next year. I really don't see any scenario where that would happen.
I just don't see it. I think you're going to see a slowdown probably with the holidays,
for sure.
In winter, right? That's really, you're going to see the normal slowdown. Yeah. But I don't know, next year is not going to, there's no PGA show. Like no one's going. If they're going to start, like everyone I've talked to, everyone's like, I'm not going for that. So it's like, even I know they're trying to push it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but like still it's like, do they need it? Because people are still selling product, right? So
yeah, I agree.
And I've heard, and I don't know if it's true or not. I know like the head retailers, right? The head brands, like the Titleist, the TaylorMades, I heard that like they weren't selling, like this was a bad year for them on the newer products, right? At first, because no one was buying it. But it's like, I've heard conflicting stories, right? I've heard stories saying like, okay, yeah, they're going to write off this year and be like, well, those drivers are going to go in the discount bin, right? Because they already got something in the pipeline. They're already coming out, right? The TS1 just came out like last week. So it's like, are they going to write off these products or are they going to try to like sell them? I don't know. I don't think they need to.
I looking at retail sell-through data, I can speak for us. Our premium D7 line had arguably almost good year 2 as year 1. I mean, normally we would cascade price points. We don't have to touch it. We are probably weeks away from selling out of our complete inventory. So, I mean, it's
holy crap.
Yeah, it's great. So normally when you'd have cascade down and you'd have excess inventory to move in Q4 or move into Q1, we'll have zero inventory to move and we'll have very clean pipelines for the new launch that we're excited about in January. So
awesome.
I think I would say a lot of brands are probably feeling certain levels of that. Yeah.
Because I was like talking to somebody about that too, and they were saying with Titleist, I think it was, they're like, yeah, that's all bullshit. Like they're fine. Like I know there's a shortage of balls right now. I know that.
Yeah.
Nobody can get the material to make the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I just don't get this far into supply chain with a guest. Like, but I just think, but it's just, with what you do, it's just like, it's just interesting because I don't know. I think this stuff fascinates me, right? It's all about like why things happen, right? Or how do it
comes down to capacity. Comes down to capacity. You got to figure when they're shut down for that period of time. It's no different why you're having trouble getting certain household goods today. And then when you re back open, you've got raw material shortages. You have output outages because you don't have as many people working in the factories. Then realistically, when there are slow times in the factories that they could get caught back up, there's never a slow time in the factory. So when you put all these things together to fill in your pipeline for the existing products, and then you're actually trying to pre-build all your new products, there's just only so much capacity to go around. So it is interesting. We will have products. It's a very good thing, but next year could be in for an interesting run too. If a product's gone, a product is going to be out. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of brands have that problem right now. Not like,
yeah,
I don't think the big, not like you guys or the big brands, right? They're not out of product, but like the smaller ones that like are still trying to get their feet wet in the industry, they have no idea what they're doing, right? So they think they ordered enough and they sell out, and now they got to wait 2 months before the next shipment comes in, right? Because but they don't have that supply. Like it's like away from China or whatever it's coming from, and it's like you see a lot of brands are just like it took them months. They're pre-selling, right? Which is I don't know, that's fine, but it's like they don't want to pre-sell either because they feel. I always feel like it's kind of I don't know. I feel like it's dirty. I feel dirty when I don't pre-sell stuff. When I say, oh, it's pre-sell, it's like now you're giving up money, and I know brands feel the same way. I've talked to where they're like, yeah, it sucks because we want to give people their stuff, and now it's like, and then we say, oh, it should be coming on the 3rd, and it doesn't come until the 23rd because tariffs or whatever. But
yeah, no doubt there's things outside of our control from shipping as well. So that's a whole nother complexity too as well. But hey, it's great to see the demand for
awesome.
golf from all levels, whether it's participation or equipment. And really, we're very bullish on the fact that it's gotten a lot of people into the game that were on the fence, and you would never hope that it would take something as we've all gone through to push people into this, but people are realizing the joy of it and the excitement, the fun of it, how you can engage your friends and family, but something that you could do at all ages. So it's exciting, and it's up to us to help have them enjoy the game and keep them playing the game too, right?
I bet you guys are crushing it right now. I mean,
yeah, business is good.
I mean, I think about your sets. Like no one else. I know Callaway does a set or whatever, but you guys pretty much, my opinion, make the best sets, right? Like for kids or for people starting out, and those are all good. Like, yeah, they're not like the $500 driver, but like for the price point, it's a good set. And that will last you a couple of years, especially if you're new to the game or you just don't want to spend a bunch of money. Like I know, like that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at who we are as a brand, we are part of arguably the largest sporting goods company in the world. That we make premium aspirational products for the best players in the world, but we also have opening price point entry level products. So whether you're grabbing a football that every NFL play has ever snapped has, or the official ball, the NCAA, we just took over the contract for the NBA. From anything from the A2000 baseball glove to all of the clubs that Gary Woodland and Kevin Stroman and Brendan Steele play to win their tournaments and their majors. You've got the best equipment that's available that out there today, but you also have equipment that people will trust if they're just getting started and they're taking their hard-earned money and saying, hey, I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, but I want something that's going to play well. And they've got roughly $400 to spend. You have an option for you. And then you can graduate up to custom fit equipment. So you're right. It's having a blend of everything, but also just that's probably what makes Wilson one of the most unique golf brands in the industry today.
Yeah, because Wilson, I don't know if people realize this, but Wilson owns like 6 brands, right? Or 5 brands, like big brands, like Louisville Slugger, right? Like DeMarini. I mean, like it's a monolith, it's like huge. I don't think people realize that, like, you touch so many different sports.
Yeah, pretty much. If you're playing a sport, odds are you're going to have a Wilson product come across your hands or your equipment someday or time. And if you're not, you're probably missing out on performance. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like my kids use Louisville bats, right? I mean, and like actually, I think my kids' golf club sets are the Wilson kids. Like whatever it's called.
There you go.
Like the yellow
profile?
ones. Yeah, the profile. Yeah, there's a red one and a yellow one. I know they have that. But I mean, it's cool because like you guys have the ability to, not only touch so many different markets, right, or different sports, but then like use that information which you're learning about technology and bring them into multiple sports, right? Like,
it's pretty cool. We have a facility in Chicago called our Innovation Center, and it's where all the R&D are housed out of, and it's all golf team racket. There's actually also individuals from our our baseball division as well. And that's, you think about it, we're creating things that transfer energy to other things. And, you whether it's a tennis racket hitting a tennis ball and how do you optimize speed and return rate? Same thing with a Louisville bat or a DeMarini bat. How do you transfer energy at impact and create the fastest exit speed for a baseball? And we've got some really cool things coming down the pike. And, but you've got all these great minds, and from materials to acoustics to design. It is one of the reasons that our products do so well, because we have such a depth of talent within our R&D department. And then you start getting to some of our sister brands. We work with Atomic and Solomon on skis, and that's materials and aerodynamics and Precor fitness equipment. There's just, again, we're part of a very $4 billion entity on their sports. Yeah, no, we're a big company.
Yeah, they're massive. You're massive. And there's not a lot of brands in golf that are like that. Like you have the big head companies, but they're not in other sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
Mizuno's probably the only other one.
Mizuno be the only one I can think of, right?
Yeah.
But you guys are way bigger than Mizuno, I think.
So it's cool. It's a great brand to be part of. And you've got very passionate people that are driven in their individual sport. But so it's cool to be part of our office in Chicago. And when you go in there and know that they are driven to provide the best products for the best players, whether it's from your little league all the way up to Major League Baseball to the NFL to any other professional sport. So very cool to see that. And it's a great brand to be part of.
Yeah, you guys will also make other products too. Like it's like, you have your baseball, football, basketball, golf, right? Tennis. Yeah. But then it's like even like the other sports that you don't realize that Wilson touches, right? Like they're also in like, badminton and pickleball and like, squash. And like, it's like you're just able to transfer what you're doing in one sport and then put into another one. And then that technology's there. And it's like sharing within the same brand, which is cool.
Yeah,
I think.
For sure. No, that's great. It's also from we talk about all the people are getting involved in the game. Odds are one of the reasons we're growing in such an accelerated manner is if you've had a Wilson product in your hand, you have a very good chance if you had a great experience with it, because it's arguably the best sporting equipment in the world, no matter what sport you play. As you mentioned, it's soccer, volleyball, badminton, racquetball, squash, as you mentioned, outside of the core sports, that when you see a Wilson product, you're going to get a good experience with it.
Yeah, and it transfers over too. Like you go, oh, it's a Wilson, and it has to be good, right? Because you already have that product.
No doubt.
So do you have like all Wilson golf clubs in your bag? Be honest.
Well, heck yeah, I would. Yeah. And I will be honest. Do I test other people's products? Hands down. No doubt. I'll say it out there. There's some really good product out there from our competitive brands, but I would say that ultimately one of the coolest things for our brand is the advent of custom fitting and the growth of custom fitting.
Oh yeah.
And if someone truly comes in and they're brand agnostic and they're saying, man, I just want the best performance iron, I want the best game improvement iron, I want the best, whatever it may be. If they go in there with their eyes open and say, hey, I just want to get custom fit, that's been the biggest benefit for a brand like Wilson, that they go in there and they get fit and they realize that our product, quite frankly, outperforms some of these larger brands from distance, dispersion, feel, and price points. And they're saying, why should I spend this when I can get this that outperforms it, and it's at a more attractive price point? So I stand behind that. I could get let go by Wilson tomorrow, and I'd still play their product because I know it's better than everything else on the market.
You guys, I'm looking at your site right now. Like this launch pad, this 7-iron. I don't know which one this is. I don't know if this is coming out. It looks so sick. It's like black. I don't know. It's just coming soon. Maybe that's what you're talking about with the.
Yeah, no, there's so many good products, and they're different products for different players.
Yeah.
And so if you're a Gary Woodland type of player and you play a blade, I'd argue there's no better blade than our staff model blades. If you're all the way on the opposite end of the spectrum and you're looking for game improvement, you have two clubs, whether it's the D7 or Launchpad, and to really truly help your game, and then anywhere in between to really separate you from the competitive set.
The nice thing about too is like your price points are good. You know what I mean? It's not like it's affordable. And it's also a good product. Like sometimes, people get priced out, right? But it's like, I think with what you guys have, it's, you have the best of both worlds. You have quality products, but then also at a price point that people can afford, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
either if they're, depending on where they're at in their golf world, golf life, I guess, or any other sport for that matter.
No doubt. Yeah, it makes you wonder why other clubs are $300-400 more per set. So, but no,
you guys got to be
always,
crushing that. I know that, man. I know you guys are crushing that on the sets. I already know you have to be, like, just because like sets are sold out everywhere,
Yeah, for sure.
And I know a lot of some YouTubers have been, doing those tests where it's like, oh, we played a set of clubs versus, the high end, and we shot the same. It's just funny because I think sets get a bad rap, or have in the past. And now it's like, it might not be the latest and greatest driver or iron or whatever it is, but it's still a good club, or, and it's still going to give you what you need. Right. Like, I think people are coming to that realization, but is a better way of saying it.
Yeah, there's great technology out there, and I would ask anyone to go out there and get custom fit and realize that you can get you can buy yourself better quality contacts, consistency, if you're getting fit properly. And I think that's ultimately where we stand apart.
Yeah. So then what's coming down the pipe this year? You have new product coming out for 2021, I'm assuming, right?
We've got some real good stuff coming out. We have we'll have a new replacement for the D7 iron for that game improvement, which if you're looking for speed and overall distance, we got a great product coming out there. We'll have a new replacement for our V6 iron that's widely played on tour. Kevin Strillman, people like Patrick Carrington play that, Kevin Tway. So that's a great forged cavity back iron that will be coming out. Super excited. And then we'll have a ball that's launching in about a month.
A new ball?
Staff model will be a 4-piece urethane.
Oh, wow.
And there's some cool stories behind that as well. There's a cool technology. There'll be 2 different versions that will be definitely, one of the versions will be a first in the industry, and we're excited about it. So it's a different approach to what people are looking for, and how you optimized consistency and accuracy. So we're excited about that. And we based on everything that we see, we're excited and definitely optimistic for a continued accelerated growth in 21.
Oh yeah, you guys are going to crush it next year. I mean, you guys already are, but I mean, I don't know. I think you guys make great clubs. And I also think that you guys for years have been thinking outside the box and creating sets of clubs. And I think as golf is growing, or it has this year, is going to continue into next year, even though who knows what's going to happen this winter or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. I don't see it slowing down. I just don't. I think, especially if we get another surge or a wave or whatever it might be, people, at least golf is consistent. You can do it by yourself. You know what I mean? You don't need to be in a group. But I think that's cool. You guys had a lot of new stuff coming out. That always says something about a brand too, right? When they're not afraid to still launch new products in a crazy market like now. It's not we're going to wait and see what happens. No, we already have something in production that we want to send out because we think it's going to change the game. Yeah,
no doubt. It's making sure that you have the right life cycles, but you're also putting out product that truly separates it from the prior model. And from that standpoint of view, it's continue to expose people to Wilson Golf and the great line of irons and golf balls that we have. So from that standpoint, it's continue to give people reasons to consider Wilson when they're purchasing golf equipment.
So what is your favorite clubs you guys make right now? What do you like to use?
Irons for sure. I mean, one of the new irons that will be coming out next year is spectacular. I would say one of probably the most under noticed are our wedges, our staff model wedges. Forged wedges are
you guys make good
so
wedges.
Good.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, you got about 15 players on tour that use them, and it's one of those things you wouldn't know, but they are so good. And then the new golf ball is coming out in November. I'm excited for the story to unravel when the embargo lifts on that. So that's going to be a cool product as well.
Yeah, even your harmonized level of wedges, right? Those are phenomenal wedges for under $50. You know what I mean? If you don't want to
price point,
yeah. If you want a decent wedge, a good wedge, it's not the latest and greatest. It's not a $200 wedge, but it's a good wedge. I mean, we reviewed it 2 years ago. It's been around for a long time. It's it's a great wedge. I know that for sure.
Product line's good.
So are you always upgrading your equipment since you work for Wilson? You're like, oh,
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I? It's like,
dude, I love that. I would be so
yeah. I
excited.
mean, it's like it's like a toy box. I go to Innovation Center and
Really?
I change the stuff. Oh, heck yeah.
So what
Why
happens
wouldn't
when
I?
you go to the innovation center? You just walk in and you're like, you can just,
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll throw that shaft in there, put that shaft in there, try this, try that, try this. Yeah, there's always stuff that you don't like it, take it back, let someone else hit it. Give it to someone else that works for the company. It's great. So yeah,
cool.
hey, there's a perk for working for the company.
It's a massive perk. It's like, I don't like this football. I don't like this baseball bat. I don't like this.
we get to do some really cool stuff. Yeah.
What's so cool too is like, being in so many different sports, like you get probably get to meet a lot of people, right? Like a lot of different sports that play it, right? Like, I mean, you guys are huge in baseball and you're huge in golf. I mean, I know that, right? So like, it's just kind of cool to have that kind of flexibility,
Roger Federer was really cool meeting him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Really good. Yeah. Just a kind gentleman. Clearly arguably the best tennis player probably of
ever.
Yeah. I was gonna say our generation or ever. But really humble, well-spoken, great guy. Yeah, great ambassador for the brand. I think one of the things you have to take away for anyone that's an ambassador for the brand, just great people. You meet, whether it's Gary Woodland, Kevin Strillman, Brennan Steele, Roger Federer, just awesome people. And I think that says a lot about who we surround ourselves with as a company. And it says a lot again, I know it says a lot about our company, but it's great when you have individuals like that supporting and promoting your brand, and it's pretty cool.
I mean, that's the key, right? Like, if they actually have good ambassadors, right, or whatever you want to call that, they're actually good people that you want to spend time with,
Yeah,
or you want to support.
And it doesn't matter if it's Gary Woodland or head professional at a Arizona Country Club. You want to make sure that individual shares your vision and what you want to do for the brand. And we take that seriously when we do look for people that are promoting the brand. So 100% agree with that.
So do you have to go downtown a lot then, I'm assuming? Because your office is downtown, or with COVID, has it been kind of tough?
Yeah,
right?
Used to, but that's been, that's all work from home right now. So we've been down there a few times. But we'll see how this all plays out. And
hopefully next year.
I'm hoping to God it does. Yes. Want to get back there and get back to some sense of normalcy for all of us, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think it's kind of cool too. You guys done also like co-branded stuff, products with, like, I know you did something with Seamus, right? Like the Seamus brand. Is that something you guys do a lot of? Is like things that are kind of up and, pretty solid brands that are popular, to do like a co-branded product?
Yeah, I think collaborations you'll see, you'll see it some of our team sports and racket. You'll start seeing it a little bit in golf, and it has to be right. You don't want to just do it because it can come across not necessarily what you want for the brand. So there are some things in the works that if it works out could be fairly cool. But yeah, you want your brand to stand on its own merits, which it does. And then if there is a reason to have a collaboration with another entity that could make sense, we could. But again, we look internally. So we've got some really unique things coming with some of our sister brands. So, and that's for the power that they have, that's more impactful than going outside, quite honestly.
So what's in your golf bag right now? What Wilson clubs?
So I have the new woods were coming out in January. I got driver and fairway wood in there.
Oh, that's cool.
I have a staff model utility, and then the new irons that will be coming out in January, staff model wedges, and then a putter that will be coming out in January as well. So
you got all the new stuff that's not even out yet. I got all the new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Again, perks of the job. But no, I mean I had the V6 that were in our lineup for forever. D7 Forge and long irons will stay in the bag. They're gorgeous. They've won multiple awards from third party. I mean, I already talked about the success of the staff model wedges. The infinite line of putters are spectacular. And then, what we'll have coming with the staff model golf ball is really, really good. So excited about
4-layer.
And we've got a couple. Hopefully we'll have some exciting news from a tour aspect on that as well. And it's great. I mean, it just, we really take the time with our ambassadors, and whether it's the input on irons with Woodland and Steel and in the golf ball and Kevin Strillman, who's an Arizona resident, and Padraig Harrington, Ryder Cup captain and 3-time major champion, has been really instrumental when we do certain things. And whether it's materials and look and feel and why we do certain thing and turf interaction. These subtle things make a big difference when you design a golf club for the end user.
Heck yeah. I mean, it's the little things, right? Like,
For sure it is.
Like that's what differentiates the product, if it's, made to the right person, right? Or is it what they're looking for?
For sure it is. It's not me telling them what to do. I don't know what the hell. I just pick it up and it feels good. But there's a reason why it does. There's a lot of people.
The know-how and the development of that product, is what kind of differentiates yourself. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, let me ask you one last question then.
You got it.
What out of all the new products that are coming out, is the one that you're most excited about is what, the ball, you think? Just because it's a 4-layer ball? Or would you say it's like the new putter? That's kind of cool you guys come out with the putter.
Yeah, I mean, it's I look at it. I mean, what drives Wilson are premium irons and premium balls. And, we've got a lot of things. We're very smart and we're very strategic on how we're launching products. So, I mean, I'm pumped for the new iron line. That'll continue to be the foundation which Wilson is built on. But you can see we're starting to get in some different areas. The premium price point golf ball. It's been something that we've been working on for almost 3.5 years. And even we got some stuff in our driver line. If you've noticed that Gary Woodland's playing this Wilson Labs driver, Brennan Steele's putting a Wilson Labs driver in there. And it's not something we're launching commercially, but it's creating innovative products that the best players in the world will put in their bags. We may or may not launch commercially, but we're using technology that goes into these drivers for what we launch commercially. Yeah. And it's exciting. We've got some really cool things in the horizon. Some of them might be next fall. Some of them might be 22, and quite honestly, maybe 2023. But some things that we have coming are truly groundbreaking and revolutionary. But that's down the road. That what we have coming out in 21, from our irons to our woods to our golf balls, I'm beyond excited for what we have and why they're coming out and how they're going to fit in players' bags. Some really, really cool things.
That's kind of the fun part about your job, right? Because like you get to see these really cool things being built and designed, and then it's like making how does the end user, the audience react, right, at the end of the day? Because you've already seen it, you're like super stoked for it because you're like, I can't wait this comes out, right?
Yeah.
And like some of this could be game changing. It could be a disruptive technology that no one else is thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's like you get to see it before, right? And then you get to see it's almost like it becomes because you're part of that larger group. It's like you're a baby too. You know what I mean? It's like, and you're seeing it actually someone buying the end result, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, it's great to be part of it, to see some of the peek behind the curtain and the amount of time and effort and what goes into designing a golf club or a golf ball or a driver for that matter. So yeah, it's cool to be part of the process. We got a very talented team from R&D to marketing for all of our territory managers. So it's a great company to work for. But ultimately, it comes down to the performance of the product and the product
has to speak for itself. Exactly,
sure
right? Like at the end of the day, it's like if it doesn't work, then no one's gonna buy it, right? And if it works really well and it's awesome, people are gonna love it. I mean, you guys I already know you guys make phenomenal irons. I mean, I've used your irons, I've used your wedges personally, and I've used your balls, right? Like, I mean, I guess I have the sets for my kids, right? Like the Wilson sets. So it's like if people are looking for a high quality product at a good price point, then Wilson's
100%
top of the list, dude. Like right away.
I would say give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, you won't be disappointed.
No doubt.
Well, cool. Well, thanks so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. No, glad to be on your show. It was a blast.
Maybe when I come to Chicago next time to see my family, we can go golfing.
Consider it done. Yeah, we have a blast. Yeah, get you out here. We'll go to the south side.
Let's go to we can go to Cog Hill or something.
I love it. Let's do it. It's I was just in that area in Lamont yesterday. So
really
good. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, small world.
I used to play Cog Hill a lot when I was with my grandfather. So I love that course.
Small world.
No, that's cool. Thank you again, and I hope to have you on the show again.
No, it was a blast. No, thanks for having me, man.
And I look forward to working with you guys some more, hopefully this year. So
you got it, my friend.
All right, thank you so much.
You got it, bud.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
You're gonna beat me at golf?
Stay connected on and off the show by visiting golfersauthority.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Golf is always more fun when you win.
Stay out of the beach and see you on the green.